Welcome, everyone, to Midday Meditation. This week, I've been talking about the subtle energies that come onto the mind that are actually related to some of the vices, and they come onto our mind. And if we recognize them as subtle vices, then we can transform them, and we never have to deal with vices in the gross form of behavior if we can catch them at the level of the mind. And so, one aspect of managing the mind is to be aware of these energies that come at the level of feelings. And as I've been saying, this is the job of the intellect. The intellect is the part of consciousness that has the ability to manage the mind, because the intellect, within the intellect, is the conscience. Everybody has a very good conscience. And the conscience can say what's right, what's not right, what's a good idea, what's a bad idea, what might work,
Bus receipt.
probably won't work. Conscience is this. But what happens is we sometimes ignore our conscience. And so then it gets weak. And it's very good, but we're just not sure what the conscience is telling us. So the intellect can look at the energies on the mind and has the ability to see, is this a positive energy? Is this a harmful energy? So I talked about the energy of arrogance, and I talked about the energy of anger. And today we'll look at the energy of desire. And this is a particularly tricky one because we're supposed to be motivated in life. We're supposed to make goals and want things and move forward and accomplish our goals. This is all part of having a good, healthy life. But as a vice, desire means wanting, needing something in order for me to feel okay about myself. That's one part of it. And the second part of it is I will do anything to get what I desire. And this is where it becomes a vice. It often becomes a crime, actually. Being willing to do anything in order to get what I desire. So, on the gross level of behavior, one example would be um, a politician who's running for office and will resort to corruption in order to get elected. That's an example of desire as a vice. And another desire might be a person who um, is engaging in relationships outside of marriage, a married person who is looking for relationships outside of marriage. This is also a desire that has gone into the category of vice. So these are gross forms. But of course, like all the vices, there are subtle forms also. And we want to pay attention to the subtle forms of desire. And the subtle form of a desire could be looking at a person or a thing with longing. Oh, if that person or that thing just belonged to me, then I would be really happy. Or a desire, a subtle form of a desire might be um, thinking that what other people have, I should really have. I should have that. I deserve that more than other people deserve it. And therefore, I'm going to try and get that away from that person. Pinning our happiness on any kind of a desire actually is a really bad idea. So we want to have goals. We want to be motivated in life. We want to strive to get things that are good for us. But if our happiness depends on our getting what we want, and if we're willing to do anything, even violate our own principles in order to get what we want, then that becomes a vice. I was told recently that we are now in an era which is called the post-truth era. which means the truth doesn't matter anymore. What matters is how many people you can get to believe you, or how many people you can get to do what you want them to do. This all comes from this vice of desire, that I will do anything in order to get recognition for myself or approval from my point of view. So we want to be very careful about this because society does not support being completely honest. So we have to look within ourselves, pull out our own conscience, use our own intellect when we're dealing with this subtle vice of desire. So honesty is the quality that helps me neutralize this vice. Honesty. Honesty about what is rightfully mine, what aligns with my principles and what does not, what is worth having in life and what is not. This principle of honesty. So, this is what we'll reflect on together today. To begin with, take a few deep, full, easy breaths. Watch the air enter and leave the lungs. The breath is free and it belongs to everyone. We don't have to hoard. We don't have to compromise our principles in order to get air. It's plentiful. Now bring your awareness within to the inner being of light. Light is sometimes equated with truth, and the soul is depicted as light. I am a peaceful soul who lives in this body. And I live in this body truthfully, meaning I have principles and values. I abide by them. I'm considerate in my use of the earth. And I'm considerate in my relationships with other people. Truthful and peaceful. The basis of all of the truths of the soul is peace. The soul loves peace, respects peace, and the soul wants a peaceful life. Desires can disturb my peace. As I said, one thing is to have a goal, and I work towards the goal, and I keep moving towards the goal. But I don't obsess on it. If I'm obsessing on it, it's a desire that has become a vice. Feeling that I have to have this goal accomplished or my life will be ruined. Then it becomes a vice. A vice means something that holds us in a lock and doesn't allow us to move. And desires are this way. They can lock us into a space where we can't move around and explore and enjoy the happiness of life. So, yes, we keep our goals, we keep our objectives, we want certain things in life, and it's natural to want a life of prosperity and a life of contentment and a life of security. This is natural. But when we start obsessing, it's become, on certain things, it's become a vice. because we learn as we meditate. Actually, happiness is within. Everything out there is just an extra. And security comes from understanding that I'm an eternal being. And nothing in the world can give me that level of security. And when we understand ourselves as spiritual beings, we can see that it's the nature of the material world for everything to come and go and change, start, stop, that that's natural, part of life on earth. So I'm not going to try and resist it, but rather I'll tap into it. So then, with this understanding of the nature of the soul, the nature of life on earth, the nature of eternity, what's left? To lead life in a good and virtuous way, to accomplish things, to cooperate with others, to learn and grow, make this planet a better place because I was here. But there's nothing in particular that we need because there's actually plenty of everything. So if we notice desires, and they could be very small desires, playing repeatedly in the mind, we have to look and see. Now we have to be very, very honest. Pull out the quality of honesty and ask, has this desire become a vice? Is it locking me, preventing me from exploring life fully? Is it locking me in the false belief that I have to have something or someone in order for me to be okay? And then the second part of the honesty is to ask the self, well, where does real happiness and well being come from? For an eternal soul, what is the source of real, lasting happiness and wellness? And we can still pursue that thing, whatever it is, but without obsessing on it. Or we may pursue it to a point and then say, it doesn't seem to be happening. So let me put my energy in another direction. Or we may just not get it. Let's say we want a job or a raise or a promotion, and we just don't get it. We can still be happy. We look inside for sources of happiness and we move on. Once I was involved in a neighborhood effort to save a piece of land from development. And we went to court, over local court, and the developer won. So at the end of the case, the leader of the neighbors went over to the developer and shook his hand and said, congratulations. He wasn't going to lose his happiness over losing the case. This is honesty. This is not allowing my desires to control me. Bring your awareness deeply within to the place of contentment, stillness. I, the peaceful soul, am eternally content. Eternally content. I have everything within me that I need eternally. I have bliss. I have peace. I have love. And I have very noble principles and values. Which can guide me in my decisions. And if in my responses to life, if I can make sure that I am upholding my own values and principles, that's the most important thing, because by doing this, I will always get self respect and I will always feel well. If I'm willing to compromise my values and my principles in order to get something, I will lose my self respect and I will lose my inner peace. So, honesty, what really is valuable in life? Desires will always come. And so the intellect has to control them. The intellect has to say either, okay, that's fine, go and have an ice cream. Or the intellect could say, no, you've already had some ice cream, you don't need any more. More isn't better. You had just the right amount. Be happy, move on. The intellect is the spokesperson for honesty, but only when the intellect is connected to my conscience, my values, my principles. And so desires can come and go. And we're okay having them, we're okay letting go of them, but we won't turn any of the desires into obsessions. We won't sacrifice our goodness in order to get something. And then this approach makes the heart very clean and pure. And when the heart is clean and pure, we're loved extra by God. God's love can penetrate easily into a clean and pure heart. And we receive that love. See yourself as the companion of the Supreme Soul, the being of perfect love. The being who has always been free from any kind of desire, and therefore his love is free from any kind of contamination, pure love. Pure love strengthens our honesty. Pure love fills the heart so that desires fade away. If I have pure love, what more do I need? Keep yourself for a few moments in the company of the supremely loving being, the one who loves unconditionally, the one who doesn't expect or need anything in return for love. Love is free. Love is to be shared. Let yourself become full. Each one of us souls is complete. Our energy gets drained. So we have to, from time to time, go to the almighty battery and get our own little battery recharged. We have to do that from time to time. But the soul is full and complete. There's actually nothing in the world that the soul needs. Keeping this awareness that the soul needs nothing, that everything I gain in life is extra and also expendable. Bring your awareness back into the present moment with the awareness that of everything that you have in life. Usually it's more than we even have the capacity to deal with. I have plenty. I need nothing. I am eternally full. Om Shanti. For our blessing today, I will choose this one. Small garden. As a pure-hearted soul, you let the light in your heart reveal the beauty in others. As a pure-hearted soul, you let the light in your heart reveal the beauty in others. Thank you for joining, everyone. And just a reminder that there's a meditation course starting this coming Saturday, 3 Saturdays on Zoom, and everyone is welcome to join.
Om Shanti, sister, I have a question.
Om Shanti.
What time?
The Saturday class,
Hold on 1 second. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Chicago time. Mahadevi?
I'm sorry, sister, there was a network problem that I couldn't hear you talking to someone else. Sister, so the Saturday program about the spiritual powers, do you have a recording of it, sister?
I do, and I said I would send it, and I didn't send it, and I apologize for that. Who all was asking for that? Gunjal asked for it. I can send it to you, Mahadevi. My only request is that you not pass it on to anyone else, because some of the students, their pictures appear in it, and we can't post things if we have pictures of the public. It's our privacy policy.
Sure, sister.
Give
So
it to
can
you.
I write your my email ID for you?
I think I have your email ID.
Okay, so
Not though. Send me an email because I'll send it from a different computer. There it is. Okay, yeah, I've got your email ID. I'll send it to you.
thank you, sister. Thank you very much, and I'll make sure I will not send it across.
Very
Thank
good. Thanks.
Oh, Shanti.
Okay. Anything else, Lori?
No, I just wanted to make sure that would be 8 o'clock Pacific
It will
time.
be 8 o'clock your time. You get up with the birds.
Okay. All right. And what's it about?
Yeah, it's called Meditation for Beginners. And
Oh,
much of the information that we pass on in this session, it goes a little bit deeper and more systematically. You learn about thoughts, you learn about the soul, the dynamics of consciousness.
and
God.
who's teaching it?
There's a very good teacher. Her name is Minu. You don't know her because she works during the day,
Oh, okay.
but she's an excellent teacher.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.